Welcome back. Amid the language debate, Tamil Nadu's Chief Minister has renewed his attack on the centre. Repeating the Hindi imposition charge, MK Stalin has claimed that DMK is fighting for Tamil's rightful place in Tamil Nadu. Shortly after, Karnataka's Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivakumar too jumped on the bandwagon, but Andhra Pradesh CM has backed its ally, the BJP, and has come down heavily on MK Stalin, claiming that there is no ground for Stalin's objections. With allies picking sides, it seems that the battle lines are drawn. And so in 2021, the then BJP government in Karnataka had implemented the national education policy, and while Congress mulls to replace it, there has not been any real action yet. The KCR government in Telangana has implemented the NEP in 2020. Now the NEP has remained constant in the states of Andhra Pradesh through the change of government from Jagan Mohan Reddy to Chandrababu Naidu. The left government in Kerala has developed a new curriculum in lieu of the national education policy, so it leaves only Tamil Nadu that has not only rejected the national education policy but also remains headstrong on its commitment to the two-language policy. This wouldn't be the first time Tamil Nadu government has targeted the centre. While the language debate is the latest in a series running through years, it leaves one wondering if the protest launched by opposition is even valid or just one of the many strategies. It was merely days ago when the Stalin government accused the centre of imposing Hindi in the state via the means of the national education policy. The ripples of the same continue to dominate political discourse even till date. And then it was the charge of cutting seats in the state through delimitation exercise. Even when the centre introduced NEET in 2024, the Tamil Nadu government called it an attempt to interfere in the state's education system, even passed a resolution against NEET in the assembly. The Stalin government has even accused the centre of exploiting its powers under Article 293 of the Constitution and severely limiting the borrowing capacity of the states. On the Kachativu Island route, Stalin again rejected the claim that there was an agreement between the union and the state government over the ceding of the island to neighbouring Sri Lanka. He further criticized the BJP government for not having taken steps to retrieve the island. This raging debate has, of course, also raised several questions today, even more so after BJP's Tamil Sai Soundarajan was detained today. With the fact that the BJP was denied to protest today, and several of its leaders were also detained, the DMK protests against Hindi imposition have been taking place across the state. Is Stalin also curbing freedom of speech and expression? Funds, NEP, delimitation. What will Stalin rake up next to target the centre? The centre has clarified on NEP, but Stalin refuses to let his guard down. Is it really about language pride anymore? Is language debate threatening the unity? The North versus South war will only bear repulsive consequences. And is centre really meting out the second-hand treatment to Tamil Nadu, as Stalin is now claiming? So as far as the language war is concerned, is there a crackdown on political rivals as Stalin government is losing the narrative war? That's the question we'll be posing to our guests in just a bit.
First, we want to protect our language. That is our intention and that is our commitment.
I am against the atrocity of the government.
Global opportunities you want to tap, then naturally multi-languages you have to grow.
Joining me on the guest today is Mr. C.R. Kesavan, who is the national spokesperson for the Bharatiya Janata Party, P. Gandhi, who is a spokesperson for DMK, Varun Kumar, who is a leader from the TDP, and Lakshmi Ramachandran, who is a spokesperson for the Congress Party. Many thanks to you, Lakshmi, and the gentleman for joining in. Mr. Kesavan, I want to ask you the question that first came up to my mind. Did you even try to get the permit? Because that's the reason which was being given for detaining Tamilisai Soundarajan today.
Akankshaji, good evening to you, your fellow panelists, and also the viewers. First thing, was Tamilisai ji engaged in a protest? Was she engaged in a procession? Was she engaged in a public meeting? Was she doing an illegal gathering? No. She was going, meeting people, getting signatures in support of the progressive and transformative NEP 2020 in the most peaceful manner. So, in the most undemocratic manner, this government has come down, while you could see, exactly opposite to her, the DMK cadres were protecting, nobody reined them in, they had a free run. And we strongly condemn the way in which the DMK government is behaving, and the DMK government is rattled. That is the fact of the matter, because everybody now seems to understand that this is a very desperate, divisive, diversionary drama and the DMK to cover up their colossal failures over the last 4 years. And this Dravida model of governance has been disastrous and dismal. Today we have Tamil Nadu as the highest debtor state, 8.3 lakh crore debt, highest state in the country. But as far as this language policy is concerned, let me reiterate it very clearly. The NEP is a 65-page document where Tamil, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam, and Kannada are mentioned more times than Hindi.
Tamil is mentioned twice, Hindi only once.
Yeah,
Mr. Gandhi, I want to bring you in. That brings us to the big burning question. Why weren't DMK student cadres detained that time? When they were protesting, did they seek their due permission? And is seeking signatures actually a violation of any norms in your state?
There is no detention of anything of that official sort. First of all, this is nothing but a public outcry, because this Tamilisai was doing something which is against the sentiments of the Tamil people. We are committed for the 2-language policy. We are rejecting the 3-language policy. That is very clear. It is not the position of the government of Tamil Nadu led by DMK. It is the position of the people of Tamil Nadu. That is there from 1950s. If you remember, in 1950s, when Hindi was imposed in the state, there were riots across the streets and a number of people were killed. So it is a sentiment. It is a sentiment of the people of Tamil Nadu. And you are going against the sentiment of the people of Tamil Nadu, then there will be a public objection in a peaceful manner. So there is nothing the government has detained Tamilisai, or the government has done anything.
C.R. Kesavan, who decides what's the popular sentiment in Tamil Nadu? I'm sure you would disagree.
Popular sentiment will be decided if the people don't choose to sign. Already you have 130,000 signatures in a day. So why are you rattled and trying to detain her? If the people don't choose to sign, they won't sign. But let me also reiterate one thing. The 68 and 1986 National Policy of Education was done under Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi. It made Hindi compulsory, and I also want to remind in 86 when Rajiv Gandhi introduced the policy, the DMK, 21 of them committed suicide through either poisoning themselves or immolating themselves. This was against Rajiv Gandhi's government. Here, the NEP 2020 pretty much says you can choose whatever language you want, and the hypocrisy of the DMK is coming out very clearly, because the number of private students in Tamil Nadu is higher than the government schools, which shows that the DMK model has failed. And when these people talk about 2-language policy, if they are so ideologically committed, why is there ideological dilution? Why do private school boards have 3rd language?
Mr. Gandhi, I'm going to give you 2 minutes to respond to that. Okay. Let Mr. Kesavan make his point. I'll come to you, Mr. Gandhi. Let Mr. Kesavan make his point.
I want to remind Mr. Kesavan.
Let me complete. I didn't complete my point, sir. Let me complete. And they talk about social justice. It's a mockery. When the private school children can study a 3rd language and can empower themselves with holistic education, why are the government children being denied this opportunity of studying a 3rd language? When 3rd language becomes a privilege or preserve of the privileged private students, and the government students are suffering, where's social justice? It's a mockery.
Mr. Gandhi, I'd like you to come in now.
Yeah, first of all, I want to remind Mr. Kesavan one thing. NEP 1 and NEP 2 does not impose the way NEP 3 is doing it right now. As far as NEP 1 and NEP 2 are concerned, they suggested for three
Where's
language
the question of imposition? Everybody's been
language
asking this
policy.
question
One
since
second.
day way.
This is
No,
the-
it's my job also to ask
We are-
questions. So,
let's be very, very clear.
Mr.
We are,
Gandhi, just
Please
5
read the
seconds. Since
document.
day one, we've been asking one very basic question. Where's the issue of imposition when there is a choice? There's an option.
when you say 3-language policy, and when we say 2-language policy, and when your minister says if you are not agreeing to the 3-language policy, we will not release your own funds to you, that is what we call it as imposition.
No,
Hindi comes next. And when we are saying we are committed only to 2-language policy, it is our option whether to learn the 3rd language or not. Why are you not allowing to do that? Who are you to tell us to learn compulsory learn 3 language?
Okay. Let's hear Kesavan answer that before I go to Lakshmi and Varun, who are very patiently waiting their turn.
The DMK in 2023 had written a letter accepting the centre's proposal for PM Shri, and they reneged and they, backed out of it.
Absolutely false.
Sir,
It is a wrong
sir, I didn't
narrative.
interrupt you. I didn't interrupt you. If you have a substantial point, make it after I make it, please.
Sure,
Don't make it.
Go ahead, Mr. Kesavan.
So they went back on their word. And more importantly, these people talk about Dravidianism, their ally. Congress follows a 3-language policy, the southern states of Telangana and Karnataka. I mean, that is bunkum bogus they are talking about. And one more thing, you talk about Dravidianism. Why are you preventing the government school children from learning Dravidian languages? Telugu, Kannada and Malayalam. And we follow
Lakshmi,
it around
I'm
the
sure
world.
you will agree that this is now becoming an ideological rift within the opposition alliance itself.
You have to understand
There
what
is
we
no
can-
Let Lakshmi make a point, because Congress has, of course, we are now alluding to the years 1968 and of course 1986 as well.
There is no ideological rift. School education is in the concurrent list. The central government has come up with a policy.
The ideology that we are talking
School
about
education
is
the concurrent
linguistic
list.
unity, Lakshmi. We are talking about
No.
the ideology of
School
linguistic
education
unity.
is-
That
No,
in itself is an ideology.
Let me finish. But since school education is in the concurrent list, it is very important that the concurrence of the state governments is also asked before a policy is promulgated. That was not done. It is 3-language policy is being imposed. Now tell me, the states that claim to follow 3-language policy all these years, tell me what is the 3rd language in, say, for example, Gujarat or Maharashtra or for UP or Bihar. What is the 3rd language in these states? And how proficient are the students in 3rd language, or for that matter, even the 2nd language? So, language teaching is not easy. Language teaching needs immersion, and it needs a lot more resources than teaching math or science. So, when you're teaching a 2nd language, which is not there in the environment of the child, that itself is a huge task.
CR
First,
Kesavan.
show outcomes in that. In terms of educational outcomes, Tamil Nadu is far ahead of all other states. Why are we being penalized? Why are we not being given our own tax money for, why are you, spoiling
CR
the
Kesavan, are we
I'm saying
exploiting linguistic pride for political mileage?
I want to ask a straight question. When the founding fathers and mothers bequeathed the constitution, education was on the state list. Who moved it to the concurrent list? During the emergency, through the 42nd Amendment, the Congress government moved it from the state to the concurrent list, and the DMK was with them in power from 2004 to 14. Why didn't they make any effort to move it back to the state list? Why didn't the DMK make any effort? Political convenience. They talk about state rights being eroded, autonomy being eroded. Who moved it to the concurrent list? Why didn't you move it back?
Why coming up with a policy on a subject that is in the
There
concurrent
can
list?
be an answer. Why did they move it from the state to the concurrent list?
Now you tell me, why is it that you
DMK
are not
moving it back?
making that
That
concurrent
shows political
state
opportunism.
When you
As
are
simple
coming
as
with a
that.
policy on
And
a
if you
subject,
take, you have a TDP spokesperson. You ask them in Andhra government schools and Kerala government schools, Tamil is being taught. You please ask them.
Varun,
This
I
is
think
only
it's time
because
you
the
finally
next
step in
government children.
as the veto voice over here, because I want to ask you, is this now becoming about political mileage, what's happening in Tamil Nadu?
Well, I think the odd number is out. We played it at a different level altogether. We see it at a different lens, Akanksha. So, like our Chief Minister yesterday rhetorically stated that the viewpoint is totally on a different stand that we don't see it. So keeping this linguistic chauvinism or multilinguistic things or sociological factors aside, looking at it at a progressive way out, progressive path. So we welcome NEP very openly, a 3-language policy, which is there in Andhra Pradesh for a very long time. And like Mr. Keswan mentioned, yes, we have schools that teach Tamil in our bordering districts like Nellore and Chittur, especially the places where I come from. And languages that did no harm to people. Learning more languages seems to be very much inevitable in global competence today. Looking at the line that world has become a global village, I think keeping this political and ideological rifts apart, one has to make sure that if you're making a policy within the state, if it has been in the concurrent list, like Mr. Lakshmi and Mr. Keswan stated, like let's not argue on who brought it to the state list or who is not going to send it back to the central list. But I would rather see that if people of one section of the society in particular state is entitled to learn few languages, so be it all with everyone. I mean, that makes sense also. And let's not deprivilege anybody from learning things new. And everybody has a right to learn, grow, outperform amongst the global competitors today. If you look at Andhra Pradesh is very welcoming and very receptive in terms of learning new languages. And also, our chief minister said that we are trying to promote foreign languages as much as we can. So we think we are a part of a global global competence altogether, and we need people from India to be competitive globally.
How do you respond to that, Mr. Gandhi? Because you're looking at a time when multilingualism is also become synonymous for cognitive development. You're looking at a time and era where global opportunities are also being associated with multilingualism.
First of all, one should understand what is the concept of language. What is the purpose of language? The purpose of language is just for communication, and it also plays as an identity in a multilinguistic society.
That's your understanding of it.
Yeah, that is the understanding. As far as communication is concerned, the natural way
Why
of
are
communication.
children opting for in private schools? Why are children opting for a third language such as Hindi or even any other language? Because they are being given that option. Why not let the student decide that?
Why should you burden your children with redundant languages, which is of no use? That is our point. If at all, if you want to learn a separate language, today in the modern world,
Keswan, I think it's time you step in.
Like
we are looking at a time when Tamil Nadu is now calling Hindi a redundant language.
If the gentleman is finished, I'll come and I don't want to.
Yes. We are concerned Hindi is a redundant language. It is of no use to us.
So Mr. Gandhi maintains that Hindi is a redundant language.
Akanksha, see the strawman argument.
What is the utility?
Okay, you made your point, Mr. Gandhi. Let's listen from the other side.
See the strawman argument, see the false binary. Here, the NEP says any 2 regional languages. Very, very, very clearly. So you can learn any 2 languages, and these guys are trying to again twist the narrative. But the irony with the DMK, they talk about Hindi imposition. He should recall in 2004 when the UPA formed the government, when the DMK patriarch was asked, when his nephew was made the union minister, he was asked, why are you making him a union minister? He's the first time MP, very young, is a dynastic preference. He said, no, he knows Hindi. That is why he's sending him to the union cabinet. He's Mr. Karunanidhi's nephew.
Varun wants to make a point. I want to take quick closing thoughts from Lakshmi. Varun, quick 15 seconds. And Okay, Lakshmi, if Hindi is a redundant language, and I think I understand that school of thought also, what about students who want to go abroad? Will they be using Hindi? The corporate culture also is perhaps now encouraging English over Hindi, and I understand that school of thought. But why didn't Rajiv Gandhi and Indira Gandhi think about it in 68 and 86?
See,
5 seconds.
When adults move to some other place, it could be France or it could be Africa, they learn the language of the wherever their job takes them or wherever their life takes them. That is something that you do in your adult life. As far as school education is concerned,
I think this is self-defeating and both regressive to, in fact, take the choice away from students. I'm sure all of us will agree, and let's agree to disagree. Many thanks to you all for joining in on Plain Speak. And with that, it's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching.